Hi guys, welcome back to the final video review on my upcoming book 2048. Now before I dip into this video, I'm going to clarify a couple of things. What I have reviewed so far and what I'm going to review in this chapter will not be an inclusive review of everything that's going to be included in the book. So it will be including other chapters, further details, and more in-depth analysis of the things that need to be done. Which leads us to this chapter. In this final video, I'm going to review a few more chapters. One of them will only include the title without specifying what it's going to include. We have to leave a couple of things for you to think about. And the rest of them will be around Jerusalem. What should be the name? The summary, which will include why I almost didn't go ahead with this book. Now, to start off with, the chapter that I'm not going to be telling you about is going to be called The United States Defense Forces. What are you going to do with the IDF? A military that was built on hostility for Palestinians. What are you going to do with the Palestinian armed resistance movements? Think. If you have an idea, let me know in the comments below. But I'll leave the rest of it to the book. Moving on to what should the country be called. Now, from my perspective, I don't really care what the name would be as long as we have a just, democratic, equal state with no superiority to no one. So, call it whatever you like. One proposal that I come up with is the United States of Israel and Palestine. What's wrong with that? Please both parties, same state, United States, everyone gets equal rights, and that's it. I have other proposals that I'm going to be mentioning in the book. However, like I said, the more important thing is the core and the substance rather than what the state is called. So if Israel in its current form didn't have the problems that it has, didn't do the things that it does, and was a completely fair democratic state, no one would say anything about the name Israel. As a matter of fact, Israel is the name of Prophet, is the nickname to be more accurate, of Prophet Jacob, which Muslims, Christians, and Jews very much believe in. So, in terms of the name itself. However, when you say Israel, now you automatically think and envision things that you see that Israel does that are not that great. So, like I said, the substance and what the country includes is more important than the name. However, I would have different proposals, which leads us to Jerusalem. Now, I have a proposal that has been mentioned before, which basically involves Jerusalem having an international state. It isn't just wholly for Muslims or for Jews, it's also holy for Christians. And it includes some of the holiest sites for all three religions. So I think everyone should have a say in what happens to Jerusalem. What I do propose in terms of practicality, however, is a committee, how it will be formed, how it can ensure the ongoing safety of the city, etc. Then we reach the summary. Now, in the summary, I mention why I wrote this book, why I think it's important to reach a solution, and why I almost didn't go ahead with the book. Now, I wrote the vast majority of the book in about 3 weeks. Following that, I added more chapters, amended things, cited things, quoted this and that, basically refined the book, and I still am before it will be published. During that time, Al Jazeera reporter Shireen Abu A'qleh was brutally killed by Israeli forces in Jenin. Now, when I watched those scenes, and not just the actual killing, which was a cold-blooded murder, deliberate murder, but what happened after it, I thought, is this even worth it? Firstly, it wasn't the first time that Israel killed reporters. They constantly kill reporters. They're mostly Arab and Palestinian. However, in 2003, an Israeli bulldozer went on an American journalist, Rachel Corrie, who was 23 at the time, on the 16th of March 2003, and killed her, despite the fact that she was raising her hand, showing them clearly that she was there, and screaming. 2 months following that, James Miller, a Welsh producer who was also filming about Gaza, was killed by Israeli forces very nearby in southern Gaza. So it isn't something new to Israel. They constantly try and silence reporters who reveal the very ugly side of Israel and try and make themselves look out like they're some sort of an amazing democracy that allows everything for everyone. It isn't the case. Secondly, Shireen Abu A'qleh wasn't just murdered in cold blood. Her family's house was attacked. Her mourners were attacked. As Palestinians were taking her coffin out of St. Joseph's Hospital in Jerusalem to the Roman Catholic Church in the Old City, Israeli forces brutally attacked them, and they almost let the coffin fall down on the ground. But they persisted in a very brave manner and led her to the church and finally lay her to rest. Now, when I saw these scenes, I was telling myself, is it even worth it? How can you make peace with a country that lets its forces do such things, such low, inhumane things? I mean, how low can you reach? And then I thought to myself, it's most important to go ahead with what you believe in, truly, at the hardest times. Even if you feel like there's no hope, like there's no future, I think these are the most important moments that you should go and continue doing the good thing that you believe is right, especially for everyone. And in the summary, I also mention how it's easy not to do anything and let things go by as they are. It's the easy choice, isn't it? Israel has impunity from the world. They constantly get support from most of the Western countries. You're not worried about the Israeli army. They're one of the most advanced in the Middle East. And on the other hand, the Palestinian resistance, armed resistance to be specific, is constantly improving. So both sides can keep fighting for as much as possible, for as long as possible. However, who is that benefiting? The normal Israeli citizen? The normal Palestinian citizen? And is there a way out apart from bloodshed? From both sides? Yes. Yes, there is. And this is why I was so keen on finishing this project, despite the atrocities that you see on an ongoing basis. We need to have hope for our future, for our children's future, and for our grandchildren's future, to live in the country that they love in peace. And to do that, you have to work persistently, even through the toughest times. So let's work together and hopefully make this dream a reality.